Sometimes I look in her eyes, and that's where I find a glimpse of us.
Let's get this party started.
All right. The tears. The tears, and Trump has trumped us by coming on live as well. He couldn't wait. And you guys...
Is Casey on the air too?
Yes, probably.
What are you talking about now?
Tuesday. Here we are. Back again. What a show. Wow.
Howard's Thursday.
No, it's hump day. It's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week for him. Hump day.
Wednesday is Friday,
mate.
Wednesdays is Friday.
But Tuesdays is Wednesday.
It's
a very abbreviated week.
We're all getting confused.
Just go away, old man. Time to get off the stage. I don't want to.
Exactly.
I don't want to do the Howard math to figure out what days of the week it is. Just go away. Just go away. Please, please quit. Elaine. Oh, Julia.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show.
Yes.
Tuesday.
And what a show today was.
Another brilliant, amazing something.
Groovin'. Groovin'. 3 hours
groovin'.
exactly of groovin'. 3 hours exactly of groovin'. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So that's just spot on. I've now figured it out. He has to do 10.5 hours of show a week, no matter how he gets there. So
Terry, you know what I do, Terry? I tell my producers, Jason Kaplan, I say, I don't want to guest for like 3 weeks. I want to groove, man. I just want to see what's in my head.
Love a groove.
That's a direct quote from National Public Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was a painful interview.
Oh, yeah. I haven't listened to the show today, so I have no idea.
You missed nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
You really missed nothing except, what we play today is going to be the highlights.
Has he acknowledged the fact that he's still in his Hamptons bowling alley?
No.
That's one of those lies by omission. He clearly everybody knows that his wife is frolicking among strangers, and his only excuse for not returning has come and gone.
Do you think that the nickname Gutterball should go to Howard, to Beth, the two of them, or 17 Squabble Lane?
Oh, big question. Gee.
I saw that term the other day, and I was like, what are we thinking not calling him? I say Howard. I think he's
Howard
just the root of all the evil. Yes, Gutterball.
Gutterball. Yeah, you know what? He is a gutterball. I'll run with that. I'll run with he's a gutterball.
It's drinking with Dennis. It's drinking with Dennis. It's Dennis time.
Yes. And tonight we're having the special blood orange, as you can see, blood orange Negroni. So yummy over the lips and gums to the tummy.
Thank you, Gungadin, for reminding me.
I love that thing.
It brings up private parts. Lauren Marie, who's my favorite Sweeney Todd bootlegger in New York, Howard in Private Parts is no more noble than Weird Al Yankovic and UHF. Or Dice Clay and Ford Fairlane.
Cold, man.
It's not better. Cold. It's not. I know it's an insult.
That's cold.
It's an insult to Al, man.
God damn. I mean, all right, Ford Fairlane at least had something resembling entertainment in it. I mean, and it wasn't science fiction.
Gilbert Gottfried's in that.
I laughed at Ford Fairlane.
Absolutely, so did I. Zuzu,
we had a couple of drinks in us, but I thought it was funny. It's your name, Neil and Bob. Oh.
Doesn't Gilbert Gottfried have a major role in Ford Fairlane, like a really big role?
Yes.
Hey, Chevy Nova.
Yes.
How about Robbie Van Winkle in Cool as Ice? Why is Private Parts better than Vanilla Ice Cool as Ice with Michael Gross?
I forgot that even existed.
It isn't.
Remember that?
To be honest.
Keep Weird Al's name in your mouth, Gunga. I desecrated the name of.
Yeah, I mean, comparing Weird Al to Howard is kind of embarrassing. Come on, Weird Al actually has a real career.
There was actually creative thought in Weird Al's movie.
He can sell
He
out
did
a
the-
stadium still, unlike Howard.
I think
No.
the point is Howard thinks those movies are beneath him. I think he thinks that's
Does
a
he really?
thinking
Well, he thinks
man's.
everything's
He
beneath him.
absolutely thinks those are beneath him.
You can't
I
bring up
think
a movie and he wouldn't say, "Oh, mine was better."
Mike White had a great post.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it right now in the mockery thread with the Mocketeers about how what Howard does is not work. In order to want to take days off, you have to have. I think he's retiring. Is that what he said? I'm retiring at 52 or something, and you don't want to retire unless you're retiring from something.
From
The
something,
reason Howard
exactly.
thinks Pat Sage work forever is because he's not working. He's never worked.
Yeah, yeah.
Shaquille
Absolutely.
O'Neal and Kazam, that's a good one. Spandrel.
Hey, you know what? You could argue that some of the stuff in the '90s there was some sort of creative thought involved, or at least, implementing the people to make it somewhat funny.
Moderately
But-
ambitious.
Yeah. But since then, it's just been like it's just a grift. Just let's get as much money as we
That's
can,
it.
and that's how that matters.
It's what it is this.
I could sit here and read live commercials and just make tons of money
Yes.
for the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Tons of money. Tons.
Lest you think the day I keep saying this, I repeat myself 1,000 times in the show, we all do. The day he got to Sirius, the goal was to work as little as possible and to make as much, to be Oprah in terms of
Absolutely.
the contract, or Martha Stewart, or Jamie Foxx, or Eminem. He wanted to do as little live radio as possible, and he keeps, every year, he inches
Perfect.
closer to that.
Yes,
This
he does.
comes up on the show today, John. Exactly what you said. He's going
Yep,
through
I
other
didn't even hear
people's
it.
money. Yeah, it's
Let's start at the beginning of
scandalous.
this.
One last thing. Congratulations to Mike White. There he is. I was right. So he said 500 days. Where is that? God damn it. This
It's been a couple of years, right?
He says, I'm sorry. Yes, retiring in 500 days. Hashtag happy dance. Congratulations, Mike White. Thank you for your service,
Yay.
sir.
Now give us a super chat, you cheap.
I'm jealous.
Exactly, you're retiring. Give us that one.
fuck. Before you get on a fixed income, Mike White, how about a super chat?
He's on the Buckwald plan.
I think.
Goddamn
Okay, can we
report.
start the clips? I want to go to bed
Yeah.
before tomorrow, or you're today.
So just listen to what he says about Pat Sajak here.
One they're saying would probably replace him is Ryan Seacrest. Like there's no other person on the planet that can host.
Oh
but
my
you know
God!
what?
Another job being offered to Ryan Seacrest. He's trying to slow down.
Yeah.
Now
but
they're
he'd be-
offering him another job.
yeah, but he's perfect for it. Ryan Seacrest.
is.
You know what I mean? He over enunciates, and he's an announcer. Hi
got
everyone,
that
this is Ryan
smile.
Seacrest. Yeah, he's got the smile.
The guy who uses a totally compressed mic is
Yeah.
saying someone else's
Darth
voice
Kermit
on his
modulators telling him he's over.
Yeah,
a
there
modulator.
you go.
But you know what this is? This is what we figured out yesterday. He shot his wad with the wrong show. Sajak is retiring. And he went, oh no, and now he's all bitter that he's like, oh my God, why did I have that whole thing for AGT? Now this show's
Oh,
open.
absolutely.
He's so
half
bitter. He's so bitter.
Half
Yeah,
of
the only
Labrador-
easier job than Wheel of Fortune is America's Got Talent.
Ooh,
You couldn't handle that. The Gong Show, I
without
mean, and you couldn't
question.
handle that.
No.
Most Labrador retrievers are qualified to host Wheel of Fortune. It's sad. It's sad.
You could actually have a Labrador.
black guy.
Jesus. I
You
got
could
way
actually
ahead
have
of
a
myself.
Labrador Retriever.
Yeah.
You can actually have a Labrador Retriever turn the letters over. I mean,
Oh, easily.
easily.
That's what I was looking for.
Aren't they just
That one.
touching you?
Oh, that
They
okay.
don't even flip over
Jesus.
anymore.
I'm rusty, guys. I don't know.
She
Oh
just
my
touches
god.
them. It's the arthritis. I mean, she's old. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah,
It's hard
yeah,
to flip
yeah.
those things.
It'd be awesome if
Well,
they got
this-
like an orangutan to replace her.
I wish I don't know
You know,
how
an
to.
orangutan could easily do that job.
Who was
Alright.
it was
Wish I
comparing
had a
Robin
sound
versus Vanna
effect.
White today in the thread?
Are you serious?
Robin's
No, there
job
was-
versus Vanna
Yeah.
White's job,
Oh, let's
which
see.
is more difficult.
Oh yeah. What? Oh God. Vanna White's job is actually harder.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
visual.
By
You
100
have to be
miles.
on the
Yes, yes, to
screen,
stand up.
and you have to.
Walk,
Yeah.
Something that Robin has long not been able to do.
If Robin had to do the news, I'd give her a little more because she's got to look through the newspaper, but she doesn't even have to do that now.
She didn't look
So-
through a newspaper. Her assistants did. She,
Yeah,
she would
well,
actually read the
mate,
stories for the
you're
first
probably
time.
right.
For the
Absolutely.
first time in air.
So, well, one thing Robin did great was disagree with Howard's little idiot. Oh, this. Just listen.
Someone was telling me that the like, what's the cushier job? The guys were discussing. They were going, is it Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune? And I said, absolutely Wheel of Fortune. I mean, with Jeopardy, you can't fuck up the questions. It's a much easier gig. But someone said Jeopardy will shoot a bunch of episodes in one day, but the Wheel of Fortune, you have to almost work every day on it. So I was like, I don't
Really?
care.
Ooh,
Yeah.
work.
I have never heard that for a game show. Who told them that?
I don't know.
Yeah, because clearly that's as hard as being a roofer.
Wow. He made the whole thing up there. Listen to his.
I don't know.
He just gives right up. I loved that bit.
Wow.
He had no clue.
Are we supposed to think that his job is harder than what they do? In any way, this is nothing. It's like I found Mike White's post. He wrote, "This is he goes, I'm 52. I'm retiring in less than 500 days. If you don't understand retirement, then you probably have never really worked in your life." That says it all. He hasn't worked at that. I mean, honestly, does anybody consider this heavy lift? What is this show? You learn nothing. Your brain rots. He doesn't have to get. He has no. He doesn't look at the shit until 5 minutes before the show, as we found out.
Well, John, he hasn't actually worked since 2008. I guess. I mean, that's.
I might go back to terrestrial. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's worked at Sirius.
He worked at Sirius to try to get more bonuses. He was working. He was actually doing something resembling work.
Fair enough.
But as soon as he lost that lawsuit, done. No more work.
Yeah, oh God, it was so like turning the page. You're right. The second he lost that lawsuit, he immediately started wrapping the show like on the dot of what he had to. Mm-hmm. It just became like, yeah, fuck you. I'll just be on the air.
But then again, at the same time, you have two channels that you program for yourself with your name on it. Why do you have to get out at all on time? Isn't the whole point of going to Sirius that it's the Wild West and we're not adhering to the rules? We don't have to hit breaks and we don't have to have weather and go to top of the hour. Why go if you can't?
But you know why? Because he's a minimalist, as in does the minimal amount of
work. Well, actually, when he first went to Sirius, he actually did do shows way past 11.
Yeah.
He did, because like I said, he was working.
Well, the way that worked is that the wrap-up show was supposed to take it to noon, so it started at 6, and whenever he decided to end it, the wrap-up show would go to noon.
6-hour blocks.
It could be an hour. The wrap-up show could have been 20 minutes, or it could have been an hour and 20 minutes.
And originally, remember, his idea was to not replay the show. It would, and then it wasn't at least months into the gig where he started repeating the show would restart again. Yes. Originally, he didn't do that.
No,
because he pretended there's gonna be like original content and the crack core view and all this other crap. They really did anything.
What is it? This contract they canceled the West Coast feed because it used to be on 101, and that got just gone. It got deaded. Now any notice or anything, just stop playing it because it used to be 3 hours behind, and now they just don't do anything on 101. Well, 101 has become nothing.
Isn't that his MO though? It just one day it not there anymore. Like
absolutely,
like shows, like staff, like on air personalities. One day no longer there. Like how long did it take us to figure out Lisa G was gone?
Oh, a few months.
There was no indication that she was gone, and then it was like after a couple of weeks, like
we didn't care when we found out.
It was right after her book tanked.
Her
that cookie book tanked.
Yeah.
Boom. Come January, after vacation, nowhere to be seen.
I found an article a couple of weeks ago. I sent it to Monique. We never read it. That he made. Initially, he made $220 million extra on bonuses in addition to his salary.
Right.
I believe
so he got that up front, and he's complaining more. He wanted another bonus on. He wanted already
$100 million.
I think it was more than that.
The XM thing, he wanted them to cough up the same money.
Yeah.
He wanted
merger
to double dip.
And
he wanted to do the mother of double dipping.
And you gotta understand is that house in Florida is him trying to hide. Well, hide the money so he'd have to pay a shitload of taxes because that's what that is. Because he had to piss it off the pot he had $50 million burn a hole in his pocket. So that's
we all know how that is.
Robin stopped doing the news, Mr. D. Robin stopped doing the news. Andy Cohen came in and asked He's the only one that confronted him about it, and then
20
Howard was forced to reveal.
in 2020,
2020, Dennis.
Yeah,
right
well,
around
they
the
used
start
it.
of COVID.
They used the whole government lockdown thing as
as an excuse to stop the news.
Stop the news, because can't have
It'd be better
news
with
now.
the news. It'd be better with the news.
You know what? Arguably, when the whole lockdown thing happened, you think that would have been his moment to shine. Like now he has
No.
literally captive audience, and instead it's
That's a
like,
good point.
what can we do to get rid of more staff,
Propel you even
Dead
more.
more
weight.
content,
Yeah.
more everything?
Okay, so this is interesting because he's talking about Pat Sajak, and then he's saying that he thinks that Pat reportedly was getting 15 million a year, and then he slips this line out, and I love this is the best one. He slips this out. Listen to this.
Vanna's 66 years old, so she's going to stick with the show, and Pat is 76. Well, I don't know why he's retiring. I would, I would go out like I would die.
Maybe it's too much.
Now, did you hear that there? He's saying, listen to this.
I would, I would go out like I would die.
Maybe-
He goes, he's saying, I would rather die than retire if I'm
Right.
getting paid millions. And that's what
Right.
we're
Yeah.
in for. He'll
Oh, he's
die.
gonna have another 5-year contract. You don't
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
think that this is
And
the end.
anybody, he's going to be like Larry King. If anybody thinks that after Sirius dumps him, whenever that day may come,
They
that he's
happen.
going to go away, there's no way, because he's going to do podcasts. He's going to do all this other stuff that has
No.
He doesn't have to put any money into the product and just continue to make like commercial money.
The only way he gets off Sirius is they go out of business. That
No,
because they're so incompetent. They are
I'm including
so
that in
incompetent.
the scenario. Whenever either Sirius stops existing or they get rid of him or whatever it is, first of all, if they go out of business, he's going to sue them for whatever contractual money he still.
Yeah, he hasn't
owes
had a
them.
lawsuit in a long time. He's due
He's
for a
overdue,
lawsuit
isn't he?
very, very
Absolutely.
soon.
He's
It's
way
been
overdue.
too long for a
So
lawsuit.
he will die. He will die. On
Brizzo.
on Pluto.
He'll get another contract, Brizzo.
will
Don't you worry about that.
He will have a show on Pluto TV or something like that.
Pluto TV.
Yeah.
Tubi.
Why isn't
He'll
he
do
getting
like
another
100
contract, Rizzo?
Why wouldn't he?
Brizzo,
Yeah,
no,
absolutely.
Brizzo's
he's
saying
never
he's
gonna
not.
take the money.
Wait,
They're gonna offer another
Brizzo's
contract.
saying he's not getting one. I want to know why. I'll wait for Brizzo as we continue. Tell us why, Brizzo. Come on, buddy.
I'll hang up and take the answer off air.
Yeah, so yesterday, after yesterday's bold announcements of things he'd been offered, he comes back today with another one, and this is great.
I was given a contract to host a very popular game show at one point, a couple of years ago, right after America's Got Talent. And we banged out the contract, and I backed out at the last minute. Well, one of the conditions of me doing the game show, I said, listen, if I'm going to do this, can we knock out the whole season? They go, we can knock out the whole season in 3 weeks. I said, you shitting me? 3 weeks? They go, yeah. I mean, you got to do a bunch of shows right in a row.
You got to work 12 hours a day, probably.
Yeah.
But you can get the whole season done in 3 weeks.
Is he that ignorant of how Hollywood works?
Yes.
Does he not know? Like most of these shows, they have to rent out a studio, and they just go. They just film the entire season like in the worst case scenario 6 weeks. Does he not know that that's how it works?
No,
and
he
then
doesn't.
They air it over months. Does he think that they just keep coming back every week and film one show?
Yes.
He is so stupid. For someone who professes to be the king of all media, it is shocking how little he knows about production.
The argument for him turning it down is insane. Oh, and Robin, you had to work 12 hours a day for 3 goddamn weeks. That's it. I mean, do you understand that, Blobbin? Literally, less than a month, you do all your work and you're done for the rest of the year.
The entirety of every reality show that you currently see on TV is filmed throughout a 6 week, 8 weeks at most.
Yep.
And then now aired for like 6 months. I mean, it'll be 16 episodes or whatever, 24 episodes, but it's all done in a very short time. It is shocking how little he knows.
Yeah, John, this is Brizzo's reply. Do you want to reply to that on the screen?
Because they know how bad the show is. They can't keep wasting money on him. That's my best answer. Well, he has something called a right to refusal, where he got this deal with the devil. in 2004 where they must offer him something akin to what he originally got. He's a silent partner. Every 5 years they say, hey, here's this, and he gets to turn it down, and he chisels time off each time. So each contract, 10 days off, 12 days off, and that goes from 112 to 85. There's no reason to, there's nothing to retire from. There's nothing here that resembles heavy lifting or work. They signed a deal with the devil, and it goes on and on and on. There's no business that would put up with this unless he had this ironclad.
And the other thing I want to also address, I see it always in the mockery thread, is that it's the fidget spinner and buoy that are keeping him working. No, he's keeping him working because he is a
Kate loves to say that, right?
He's a narcissist. His ego would never let him not work. He has a little bit of fame, just enough fame to keep him in the eye of these new Hollywood friends of his. Just enough.
What Kate Tate's saying is they jack him off every day daily. It's the show's the best it's ever been. And yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
Yes, they do.
Absolutely.
He needs his ego stroked like anybody else. He's his friend. He knows when anytime he steps out of his little fucking bubble, he gets eviscerated online from everyone and everyone, from every source, from us. He needs that ego stroked.
Well, yeah, and that's why he'll never retire. And that's why he'll
retire from what?
Exactly. He's walking downstairs to the basement.
Yes, right.
I think we need to change it from retiring to no longer being on the air. Because you're right. There's not gonna. He's never. You can't
not broadcasting.
Quit from something that you were never part of, man. He's never going to retire because he's not working.
Exactly. He keeps going further with this in this clip. He digs even further.
But you can get the whole season done in 3 weeks.
You'll be done. And I was all set to do it. We banged out the agreement. My agent had the agreement, and I was going to host I don't want to say which one it is. I'm not going to embarrass the dude that now hosts it.
Yeah.
But I turned it down ultimately because I felt.
Give a crap?
I just came off AGT, and I was like just so fucking done with network television and the schedule that I
What
just
schedule?
What
schedule?
You know, my wife
You're
said
off
you missed the entire
90%
summer.
of the year. What schedule?
Pick up another.
What schedule?
You know, my wife said, you missed the entire summer. What are you doing?
Yeah, you're going to fuck up another summer. That's what she
No. There's no way Beth ever discouraged him from making a truckload of money. Never.
I mean, and leaving the house. Never. Remember, Beefus likes when he leaves the house a lot.
It was around that time that pretty much became obvious that she lives in the Hamptons and he was living in his apartment.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, come on.
The Instagram, you guys investigated heavily. Yeah. And they end this with this little line.
Because, you know, you could put that shit on autopilot. Hi, everybody.
Wow.
It's time.
And then
let me ask you guys a question.
He just
in pop culture. No, it's okay.
John, go.
All I'm going to ask is, in pop culture, in what major corporation in terms of television have they hired a 70-year-old to start a show? You're hiring someone at 70.
I don't know how
has this ever happened in the history of show business? You don't hire a 70-year-old to start an entity, no matter what it is. I've never in major show business seen someone hire a 70-year-old to spearhead a show. Now, you finish at that age, you don't start it. Especially him. And all he does is talk about how lazy he is, right? So you're listening to this, and you're the guy signing the checks, and you're listening to this guy who wants he wants the Dire Straits deal, money for nothing. And all he wants to do is work one day. So why would you hire someone like this if his whole goal is to do nothing, right? He's literally revealing his hand. I want to just take your money and do nothing.
And
who would hire him? And
don't you have to be somewhat like charismatic or entertaining or to host one of those shows?
You're right. He proved he has none of these things.
Sell a joke, you know, and it's like,
you can't even tell a joke.
But then you have to market yourself. Like, show us what you did on TV, and he show us AGT, and he go, "This is what you got, huh, Mr. Badass? This is you're gonna host. You couldn't even judge. You're talking 90 seconds for 2 hours, and you couldn't even handle that. We're gonna hire you to host what?
Yeah, he wasn't hosting AGT. He's sitting
he was
there
a
waiting
judge.
to be asked.
He was speaking for 90 seconds.
It's like Robin or something. You know, he's sitting there waiting. But listen to what he said at the end there.
I mean, because you know, you could put that shit on autopilot.
You could put a game show host does more work or less work than Howard. I think we know the answer to that.
You
It's
got
more
to at least
work.
be able to what happens is they usually have like an IFB, like an earpiece or earwigs with those little wireless earbuds, and they get fed a line. So you can at least be able to do that. I don't think that's Howard's capable of doing that. Like, I worked briefly with Peter Wentz, the guy from Fall Out Boy. That guy is stupider than paint, but he still manages. I'm not joking. He's literally the stupidest person you've ever met.
Oh,
but,
intelligence
but
doesn't mean
they
anything.
would just they could. It was just like Anchorman. You could tell him to say anything, and he would just repeat it like a parrot. So,
but
I don't think
Howard was
even
the
capable
worst
of that because of his ego.
But Howard was the worst of it because you would see him like this, trying to hear the person and then figure out what to do.
And the tendrils covering the earpiece.
But he would sit there like and hold the earpiece and shake his head and stuff like a moron. And I'm like, and it was utterly hilarious because he had no idea what to do. He had to get fed every line to say. Every line was fed to him. Can't think on his feet at all.
And he was completely uninteresting and banal, and he had those fed to him. I mean, I can't remember one quotable thing that he said that even came close to think the bill of goods that they got sold that he was going to be this Mr. fucking rebel and eviscerate the contestants with the stupid fire hose ad during the Super Bowl.
Nope. Instead, we got the guy dancing on stage with twinks, looking very twinky himself, and ignoring.
You know what?
And running away from a beautiful woman.
If you would like remove the audio for that and just show it to random people and say, "Hey, did you see the latest Nambla video?" People, 50% of people would go, "Oh my god."
Bulldog, did he even yell, "Get off my stage"? Was it even that edgy? Did he even say that during that?
No, he never did. No.
We used to watch it and
comfort a kid that cried. He actually went up.
I was gonna same thing. Wasn't he the guy that they made the kids cry and stuff like that, man?
No, he didn't. No, he had kids sitting on his lap.
Now, guess who comes in to help out?
Jan Hine.
Oh, and listen to this.
Hey, John, what up? John Hine, everybody.
Hey, Howard. So the Wheel of Fortune schedule, they do gang shoot them, but they do a lot of on-location stuff.
So, I bet you thought I was going to play a whole freaking thing of John. No, I'm not going to play any more of John. Don't worry, that's it. But gang shoot. So John knows a term there.
What an insider! He knows that they do cutaways of.
And he hung around for 30,
not only that,
20
not only
minutes.
that, hey, one more little trade secret for these shows. Most people don't realize that the studio audience is essentially homeless people. There is in LA, you can sign up to be part of a studio audience, and part of the deal is they feed you lunch. They give you a check for $100 for the day, and then they give you free lunch. And it's really fun. What's funny is that's why they never show the audience, bro. What's funny is I remember like several times where the dude's like, "Hey, it's supposed to be our lunchtime," and the guy literally has like hobo shoes on and stuff. Literally like the stereotype with the toe sticking out through the work boot. And it's just but they get really, really bitchy and demanding, these audience members, man.
They're like audience members.
Yeah, and when they're done, it's like, okay, back to my shopping cart. Yeah.
Oh, that's depressing, man. But
hey, they're making money.
Yeah, exactly. They made $100 the easy way.
Not 100. I think it's like $50.
Oh, whatever. They still made it the easy way. And they got lunch.
100%. Anybody, if you want to, go to LA. Google, audience jobs, whatever. Anybody can do it. Anybody.
I know the automaton Zerkys 842. What the robot comes in, and you just feel like, I found out that Wheel of Fortune sometimes shoot things on remote.
When you came in the room, you could actually feel the personality getting sucked right out. I mean, he's actually like a wet towel.
He's one of the biggest enigmas in the history of this show in terms of he became a Buckwall client at some point, and so they just they cut him to the front of the line. It made no sense. He's hosting the Superfan Roundtable, and then he's hosting the wrap-up show, and you're like, what, huh?
And then he's hosting a show on Channel 5 in New York.
Think about how boring he was as a guest when he was just simply promoting Jump the Shark. And they elevated him to this weird thing. I mean, obviously he's no threat to Howard, right? He wants people around him who have, no charisma or no talent or no, in his case, he's of no threat. You're never going to find him more interesting than the horrible host.
So this show today, there was a lot of impersonators as Trump, and this one was and I've titled this, Joe Pesci impersonator is a wanker.
This was so
Everybody, it's Joe Pesci. Hi, Joe.
How we doing, Howard? I can do that fucking job in my sleep. How easy is it to do that fucking job? Pick a fucking letter, you prick. Hurry up or I'll spin your head instead of the fucking wheel. Come on.
And that went for 2
Wow,
minutes.
that's
All the
relevant.
impersonators go for 2 minutes, I've noticed.
So that's not Jim Brewer. That's someone doing an impression of Jim Brewer.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
It's an
imagine.
impression of Jim Brewer doing Joe Pesci.
Like
Yeah,
Jim Brewer
makes
was the
sense.
guy. He was the Pesci guy,
Yeah,
right? It was
he
like
made
he
it
might as well not
popular.
do it after that. It's like Craig Gass and Gene Simmons. Like no one, you're never gonna do it better. He's got a. So Jim
Yeah,
Brewer,
but
who's
it's
this huge,
It's a reference
crazy
from like
neocon now.
1992, man.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's relevant.
They're going-
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Would that be
30
Mike
years
Trainer doing that? Mike Trainer doing that impersonation?
He doesn't really
Is he
do.
still-
No, that's somebody else.
Or does he sing on it? Does he sing the stupid songs?
But what I've noticed these hacks do is they do impressions of other people doing impressions. So the Marky Mark impression that Andy Samberg did in Saturday Night Live, one of the hacks in the back office did that. He kind of lifted that impression. Somebody has to crack the code first. You remember how when Dana Carvey did George Bush, everybody was doing Dana Carvey doing
Right.
George Bush.
Da-da-da.
This is right. Everybody was
Right.
doing that. So this is what
Thousand
this is.
Points of Light.
Kilo Sierra Alpha, I'm beeping the F. Because we've been inappropriate for so long.
Yes.
And it's,
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Well, wait until we get to the
Jeremy.
We're not
Pat,
gonna get
Pat
monetized,
Cooper
it's
clip
okay.
later. There was about 20 Fs in this 2 minute,
How are
1
we gonna
minute
listen
clip.
to it?
That guy swore so much. Now, I got
He's
him
still
out.
doing
But
Pat Cooper?
No, that's not funny then.
Come on.
yeah, you're right. You are right. When I was
Where's
doing it, I
the
was like,
Treat
it
Williams,
does take away the.
eulogy?
Yeah, he missed Treat Williams. No,
Come
no,
on,
no
man.
talk-
It's
no
because
talk
the
about
show was
Treat Williams.
filmed like last week, probably. Recorded
We
last
have a
week.
few video clips of this because the script confuses how Dennis pointed this out to me, and we're going to go to the visual again for the waveform. The script just and Howard sends in the awful how the pauses while he's trying to work this out.
You got two ex-presidents arguing right here. Awesome. Yeah.
They're going to keep the court sealed up. We'll only get the some transcripts from the court reporter to find out what goes on inside there.
Artie.
I don't remember why I have this. I know why. I got a song here.
The script. Wow.
Isn't this amazing?
Professional
amazing?
broadcasters, man.
No, the show doesn't need a comedian. They don't need that third mic.
At
It's
all.
fine.
No,
That's
no,
good
it
stuff.
doesn't-
Let that
no.
go on. More dead air. More 15-second dead air.
I mean, and Blobbin just interjecting nonsense just to fill up the airspace.
I was just going to say
Well,
that.
That's exactly what happens next because the chick calls in. She's on the Peloton script, and then Howard's running with this narrative that he's still in a bad mood because Beefus is going to New York this weekend.
Yeah.
Michelle, you're on the air in Ohio. What's up?
Hey, Howard.
And this girl's trying to get to the script. She's trying to do what I do on this show, where I'm trying to get to the clips.
Get to the
But
jokes.
Hey,
she's
Howard.
trying to get to her script, but
Hey,
she
Howard.
can't. Listen to this.
How's it going today?
All right, I guess.
Right there.
Hey,
I'm in a bad mood. My wife is leaving me for the day.
Oh,
And I get
today's that
real-
day.
Like
Yeah,
you
I'm
give a
really
shit.
sort of fucking angry about it. You know I don't like to be
fake
left
backward
alone.
compliment.
well, hey, Howard, I got a question about the Peloton.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
sounds like
please.
you have the old. You have.
Now listen to this. She's telling him to get the new one, or so, let's go see or whatever. I can't. And he complains about a few $1,000s. He doesn't.
Yes.
He's not aware of how that sounds. He should.
You have the old bike. Why don't you get the
Yeah.
bike flat? It's way
I
better.
don't want the new bike. I paid for a bike. I got it. It's fine. I don't need the new one.
I know, but it's an upgrade. You don't even have to. You can put the
cares?
bike on. With,
Who
you
cares?
should
I'm not
get
going to
the
go
new
buy a whole. Those bikes are a couple of grand. I mean, I bought them. That's it.
No, he didn't.
I don't need the
No, he
new
didn't.
bike.
Tell 'em to
And what's this douche? Listen to at the start of that, the way he welcomes a caller.
Michelle, you're on the air in Ohio. What's up?
What's up, Michelle? You're on the
How's it
air.
going today?
How's it
All
going?
right, I
Playing a
guess.
call.
All right, I guess.
But,
I mean, it's an
so-
actor. You're right, Dennis. Yeah.
So, the funny thing is, though, he made more money killing time talking about that Peloton. He could have bought 2 new Pelotons in the amount of time he's doing right there. It's ridiculous. 2 of them. I mean, this is absurd that he's promoting the company but trying to get more free crap out of them, and it's actually pretty weird. It's his typical
it's all
move.
fake, you know that, right? There's none of this is real.
But it's his typical move.
He didn't pay for a Peloton.
No, I know that.
He doesn't use. All this is.
But he's trying to get more out of them, but promote them a bit more.
I think this is part of someone wrote a script, and this is it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I tell you what, Peloton, Howard would pretend to be upset with you, and then at the end he'll be so happy he has your product.
Absolutely.
And give us a check.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I want to know the advertising statistics they have to submit.
That's the thing. the pauses are gigantic on the Howard show, but on this show, you'd be lucky to get a quarter of a second pause without somebody.
What was that? Anyway,
we don't have any dead air on this show, really, ever. That was.
I genuinely feel myself getting stupider. And I'm not saying that in any kind of hyperbolic way. Like my brain is slowing down listening to this. I'm really kind of getting. I remember driving around one time, preparing for our show, and I had to listen to this whole show. And I remember punching the dashboard in like a real way, like just how bad it was. Like, and it was just more of like what he gets away with, like to get paid that kind of money for this. It's just not a show. There's nothing here.
John,
exactly.
Try to do this,
especially when you're thinking about your bills and your mortgage, and
you just think, you're thinking about right.
It's just rambling.
Real people struggle with.
Imagine this is the first thing you hear in the morning.
That's the problem. And it's doing to me for the times I'm on this week. It's killing me. Like it's midnight when I can start editing it because the show's ended, and it's putting me to sleep. Like I've said before, like I can go to sleep listening to him because he's so boring, and I'm sitting here half asleep just trying to crop clips. It's exhausting. Yeah, for a morning, you're not going, this is what you listen to when you got razor blade and you're about to slit your wrists.
The whole point of morning radio, Bon, is it's supposed to galvanize you.
This show turned into an intervention for us. It's like, yeah.
Spandrel goes, arms hitting the dashboard, going, yeah, be funnier. No, I'm not that Simpsons thing. No, I'm not. I've given up on funny years ago since Artie left. I'm just passionate, interesting, something to grab onto. I gave up on funny a decade ago. I don't expect anything comedically from this show. Just something interesting. There's nothing here.
Good point, Mike, as well. Good
Spandrel.
Point, good point, Mike.
Wait, Spandrel. It's an early morning colonic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
For your brain.
If you're, it might make you want to go to the toilet. So if you're backed up, it's a.
Oh yes.
Well, you know what? Before the advent of Bluetooth, you have any idea how many cassette adapters I destroyed in my car? Listen to this show.
Now, this is great. This is a great moment. He talks about this is if he wrote this story for himself, his 19-year-old niece tells him about this group called Suicide Boys, and then he goes.
Whoa.
He goes.
So would I believe Ellen has a 19-year-old daughter?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm confused on who this is.
What niece?
He says that. I think.
No, I believe you. I believe it sounds.
His sister is like older than him. She's in her 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
Is he taking like? Is he taking like Stephanopoulos' niece and using it as his own to tell his story?
Or maybe maybe Beth's niece.
That could be, Dennis. Is this what's her name? The
ones that visited had little kids, right? They were like early teens.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
So he's using Beth's.
Who's
How
he talking
do we
to?
work that out?
First of all, the fact that he's talking to someone is preposterous.
No, he isn't.
Yeah, that's the lie in itself, right? Like he's talking to someone.
And we're going back to.
So go ahead. What was said?
He talks about this. He said he's looking for new music, and he at least admits that he listens to all crap from the 90s. And he said he was talking to her when he saw her recently, and she said, she listens to this group called the Suicide Boys. And then he says he listened to it, and it's guys wearing hoodies and ski masks, and they've got tattoos, and they're screaming. And then he plays a clip of them, and then he starts saying, oh, it's actually okay. It's really weird, and we're going to the waveform again because it's like he's confused himself
He
with
is
this whole
confused.
story, and he leaves these giant poisons. Listen to this.
Way more slick than what I heard. Yeah. I'll have to give that another chance. That was pretty good. 3, 2. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, I got a bunch of...
What passion.
Here, what else was I gonna tell ya? What is
Yeah.
this?
What else am I gonna tell
He's
you?
very
We
interested in
don't do
dispensing
that on
information
here.
for us.
Yeah, we don't do that on here. We don't go, what else is there? Well, maybe we have done that, actually.
Just out of curiosity, does he think that that's his audience? I mean, there's a reason why you don't see skateboard commercials on Fox News, because they know their audience. You know,
That's
it's
a good
true.
one.
So does he think that anybody stupid enough to listen to us, like us, would be interested in suicide? Was it the Suicide Boys or what the hell that were?
Yes, suicide. The clip he played.
Come on.
The clip he played did sound okay. I was like, yeah, I could probably listen to that. I was like, why are you complaining about that? And then he realizes it as well. Why didn't he just stick with his premise? That weird. And then
He doesn't know his audience. He thinks we always, joke around that he thinks he's a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
He thinks, even if
He's
he
trying to be a
was a Gen
millennial
Xer,
now.
does he think that anybody in that age group is going to listen to him at this point?
Mm-mm.
No one. No.
Well, I was happy he at least admitted that he only listens to 90s crap. That's good enough. I mean,
But
he
even
doesn't
that's
admit
out
too
of
much.
his out of his age range. I mean,
Yeah,
seriously.
Absolutely.
He was
Yeah, you're
50
right.
years old.
So he was pushing 40 when the 90s were around, man.
He was pushing. 40s. You're right. He was in his 40s.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will correct the math, but whatever.
Yeah, he was born in 54, so yeah, it was 40 and 94. No, that's like when he said he went to all the STP concerts. No, you didn't. You didn't even talk about Stone
How
Temple
he went to the
Pilots.
Sex
They were-
Pistols.
he was going to the Sex Pistols concerts or the
no.
Soft Cell concerts.
First of all,
That's
he
his
wouldn't go to
era.
Sex Pistols because they would have beat his ass.
Yeah,
Imagine
absolutely.
him,
How
you
funny
imagine
would
him
he
in the
have
audience.
looked?
It'd be like, holy crap. He would have got beat unconscious. And he is old enough to be a parent to anybody in the 90s, like
Absolutely.
Stone
The
Temple
closest-
Pilots, Pearl Jam. All those guys are young enough to be his kids.
Yes.
Absolutely.
The closest he's come to this is they used to have these dysfunctional family picnics at K-Rock, and they used to have a thing corned off for him and his people. And he would sit like off in this sort of thing, and they'd have set up for him like he was royalty, like he was the Messiah, and they would have the K-Rock bands playing it. And that's the closest he's gotten to going to. But that's not a real experience. You're in VIP seating. You're not actually interacting with the humanoids.
No.
Yeah, you know what? Someone says nobody under 20 knows who the Beatles are. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
At this point, it's like all the millennials, they kind of know who the Beatles are, but they probably haven't listened to a freaking song of theirs ever. It's like us. It's like, it's like I kind of knew who Chubby Checker was, but I'd be damned if I knew anything about him, when I was in my 20s.
I unfortunately got.
It's that kind of thing. So
I unfortunately
if they don't know who the Beatles are, what chances that they know who Howard is?
Yeah.
Well, somebody pointed out in the comments that he left the concert because of fireworks. It was actually allegedly a Led Zeppelin concert at Madison Square Garden, which I find the whole story just not true. It sounds like he just conflated something, because there were fireworks at that concert, but I doubt that he had any good seats that he actually would matter that he'd be in trouble from fireworks.
Yeah.
There's no setting that he's going to where first of all, he's not going to pay for anything.
No.
Where he doesn't, not in a completely corned off VIP section that's completely away from the humanoids. There's no situation where he's having a real concert experience on any level. And the other ones with what? Metallica, the K-Rock sponsored ones, right? Metallica, the Beatles, and what else? When they had him at the Apollo.
Yeah.
That's the only other things I can think he went to. Him and Ralph. There's shots of him and Ralph with their scarves tied together.
And didn't he leave early at all those concerts?
Yes. He
He
left early.
famously
There's nothing worse than him in music. Just talking about it, trying to figure out what this poser's taste is. There's nothing worse than trying to talk about music with him.
He's a poser's poser. I
Yeah.
mean, seriously, he would have to improve to just be a poser.
I know it's like insulting posers.
But
Like, I don't
it's-
even
but
know.
it's
He's
with
beneath
everything.
the poser right now. I don't
It's
even know
like-
what to call this.
But yeah, heavy metal, comic books. I mean, everything that he professes to be an expert on, he literally doesn't know dick about.
No, he knows nothing about guitarists. He knows nothing about rock music. He really does know nothing about rock music. Everything's so basic bitch with him because it's either the Stones or the Beatles or Led Zeppelin. I mean, he has zero idea.
She's what the kids call a basic bitch. He's such an
getting a bit
elitist
old.
goblin. He can't generate passion enough for any of these things to not try to look too cool
And-
for school.
And then when he had his moment to shine with every single one of these groups, like Robert Plant, Mick Jagger, Pete Townsend, Roger Daltrey, he dropped the ball, and they're all famously just nothing but like just the worst interviews in the history of interviews. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Robert Plant basically almost wanted to spit on him while he was doing the interview.
Yeah, that was
But
the
they
best
couldn't wait
ever.
to leave.
Yeah.
Think about how much pomp and circumstance go into each one of these interviews. Like in a normal talk show, they're doing 3 a night, all year long. This guy, he'll have one, do the end zone dance for a month straight with 70 people writing questions for him, and he still can't get it right. It's not like he does this all the time. It's very, very. He has a guest. What would you say on the average, Dennis? Was he 2 guests a month? This is a month.
No, he
Like,
has 3. I say 3.
It's not. There's no real pattern to it, but there
3.
have been
It's
times where he
3.
said nobody for 3 months. I remember tallying it up, and he went
Well,
like,
now he's doing where they're filling in with everybody from Sirius. So that's all he's
Yeah.
getting now is Sirius people. Anything related to Sirius, he's getting, and that's
He
it.
seems to have gone away from like the Chelsea Handlers and that type of guest.
"Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
seen
Notice
Whitney
that they've
Cummings
kind of
on in
fallen
a while."
off now. Not that that's a bad thing.
No,
but
the
it's-
Whitney
but it's
Cummings
sad.
and right.
I'm just pointing it out.
But at least Whitney, well, I mean, as much as don't like her, at least she doesn't work for Sirius, and she's not promoting a Sirius channel. So, I mean, there would at least be some sort of conversation there about something else. But,
It
you know,
was today. Sorry, Dennis. Brizzo, that was today.
What?
And that sucked.
Oh, that
The
was so. Do we
Aussie.
have that? That horrible.
No, I
Oh
didn't.
Christ!
I
It was
should
all
have,
right.
I
It
guess.
was Wilding. Wilding
Oof.
trying to do both voices, and I mean, I didn't like him before, but I've never wanted to hit somebody so hard in my entire life when him trying to do Sharon Osbourne.
I'll grab it for tomorrow. I'll grab it like
With
20 seconds. Little
with
prick
no
he is.
material.
He's a
They had
prick.
no material, and Howard basically got ghosted by the Osbournes because allegedly Gary said that they're going to be coming on soon.
I think
And all
it's
of a
tough
sudden-
booking. Is that really tough to get them on?
No, it isn't.
Sharon was
And
on the show like
no.
every
No.
week. Is that even a tough booking?
And then they just kind of like they ghosted him.
Yeah, 'cause,
They're,
I mean, they
they're
can
done
always-
with him.
Everything was Zoom anyway, so it's
I
not
know,
like it
right?
would
How
Yeah.
hard could that
be
be?
really
to get her
difficult
on?
to get anybody on. I mean,
But
technically,
all
get
these
anybody
people
on.
are ghosting him at this point because he's not relevant, and I think they're finally figuring that out.
Yeah,
I mean,
think you're
look
right.
at all the movies. Look at all the
Well-
movies that have come out, and not one person from any of these movies
Brilliant
has
point.
come in. Not one.
Brilliant point, because that used to be like back in terrestrial, as summer blockbusters were coming out, he would have someone relevant to whatever was coming out. Now Memorial Day has come and gone. Like this week is what, the Flash movie.
Yep.
You got
Nobody.
Michael Keaton. You got a bunch of people that have been in the DC franchise out
Nothing.
doing whatever. And in
No,
fact,
they've dropped that
even
routine
worse-
a long
even
time
worse-
ago. That promoting the
even
movie
worse,
on a.
even worse, guys. All the talk shows are shut down because of the strike. Howard is the only outlet that's basically still going, and they're still
Allegedly.
not doing this.
That's a really good point.
And the thing is, I mean, Fast 10 came out, and there's like 20 people in that movie.
Yeah, right, that
No one
cast
could
is-
come on from that.
No,
no
there's
one.
been a string of like big movies that have come out over the last month, and not one single. And there's nobody to go. They can't go on any show to promote their
No.
stuff. They
No.
can't. There's just not. That's just not happening right now because of the strike. Howard would be the ideal person to go to if you wanted to promote something, and nothing. Crickets.
Nope. And it's all over Zoom, so it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It's Zoom. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
It's just hilarious that he is so irrelevant that the movie studios are like, yeah, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's move on to this because he gets. This shows it kind of goes with what you're saying about there's no one to help to get on the air. He gets a call and we go into the visualizer again. Just look how this caller drops out, and look how he's got nowhere to go. He just wants the caller there. He needs the call to kill time.
There you go. Oh my God! All right, one more call, Brian, and then we'll get to some other stuff. Yeah, go ahead, Brian. This is Brian from California. Everybody loves California.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi.
Brian? Not there. Okay.
6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi.
All right, I'll give Nate a shot. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Howard.
Now, the old Howard, remember when Howard would rapid fire through calls in the 90s and that? If there was 2 seconds silence, he'd go, bang, next call, and then he'd do 20 minutes of cutting through people. And if someone started talking and he said, what? He'd kill calls if he just didn't like their voice. He'd go, you got a weird voice, I ain't got time for this. Now he's stuck. He's like, I need the call. I've got to set up 3 minutes here.
Well,
I've got 3 minutes.
The call was, I think a lot of the calls, either they're pre-planned or there's somebody that had hanging out there that could set up a bit and kill 25 minutes. And oops, it didn't show up. So now he has to go through his script and try to figure out what the next thing he's supposed to do. Because
everything's just so slow and dispassionate and forced. He can't handle these grooving shows. You know, he needs, the only way to like pretend that this is a show is literally just, I would have 3 contracts ago just said, I'm just going to do one-on-one interviews. I can't handle a show doing this. I can't riff. I can't do comedy. I can't comment on current events because I don't know what's going on, and it would expose the show that how low IQ. Just do a one-on-one. Have 2 guests a show, and that's it.
John, that was his original plan when they did
I know that
the
was
summit,
the Marcy meeting.
Because Blobbin was not long for this world, he thought. And he was just going to move on and do a
They
one-on-one.
should have just followed through with it. It would be the only way to salvage what is completely torn limb from limb, whatever this legacy is. And I say this again, this is probably the 10,000th time I've made this point. We are at a point now where there are more bad years with this show than good years. Especially since I've been listening. We're very close to a tantamount thing of more bad years than good years. And is that when you do that, your legacy is completely torn limb from limb.
Well, no, there's 20 I'll give 24 years of good. We're not at 24 years of bad yet. We're only at 16. Because I'll do 2008.
We're in 2023. I think most of the serious years sucked. I mean, I started hating him right from about 07. I was 2 strikes on him. So yeah, it's close. By the time he hangs it up, it's going to be more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be very close at that point.
Here we go. Look, what have we got here?
Gunk can do a special show and all the talking over each other that happens constantly on this Zoom Stern show. It's 100% worse than Gunk.
I wouldn't say 100%.
But wait, but for a legit professional broadcast where they see each other,
look at what he
gets.
They're
looking at each other. There is no excuse.
Zero.
Literally no excuse. None.
That's nice super chat. We appreciate. You're paying for Monique's vacation wine.
Jimmy the Drunk. I should say, we got to say his name. Jimmy the Drunk.
Jimmy the Drunk.
Yeah, lovely guy. And
I'll drink to that.
Who doesn't need a drinking coach?
What we've just been talking about is perfectly illustrated here, where Howard's got a few things to do. We can go to Sour Shoes, we can go to Chris Wilding, and then he talks to Robin, and they both get wondering out loud, well, what should we do?
Yeah. Oh, so I was going to tell you a bunch of other things, too, because why not? I mean, everyone's listening, and they want to hear what's happening. I'll give you a choice. You want a Sour Shoes update? Or you want Gary's all worked up about airline assholes, people who get on planes, and we got tape.
That's original, complaining about airlines.
How exciting.
And also, I got a couple of updates on phoners, like people who have called us with weird stories, and we go back and follow up. And then I do have Chris Wilding's Miami date.
Ooh.
You know,
Geez, that's quite a potpourri, as they would say.
Potpourri.
How many
Well,
shows, Dennis?
we do our homework.
85?
We got a lot
for
of
the
good
year?
material
Last year there was
for you.
92, but there's going to be less this year.
Okay,
So
this
say 85.
This is what you waste your little precious time on. This. Wouldn't
is
you make
like
them all count? If you only had 85 shows a year, wouldn't you just make every one of them count? And
You
even
would,
at this age, try to put
if you cared.
every day is Casual Friday. You don't get to
Every
mail it in when you only do 80 shows a year. And groove. How is
Groove.
this
This
a
is-
show, as the great Tiger Lily said?
Exactly.
Hey, we do our homework. We got a lot of good material for you. You tell me what you want. Airline assholes?
Oh, let's do
Sour
Richard
shoes
Jenny's
update,
stand-up routine from the
An
evening at the
update on a couple
Improv.
of people who called us in the past and, find out what they're up to. Chris Wilding, Miami date.
This is crazy.
Imagine
yeah,
the
it is.
1996 Howard listening to this show.
Oh,
he'd
yeah.
eviscerate it.
Every day. This would turn into the Magic Hour. Every day he'd be goofing on this show. Kind of like
This
what we
killed
do.
a minute. There's a minute. This is time. This is
Yeah,
is
that's
a minute
$4,000
means
he made.
something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, procrastinating.
And they're still
Yeah, I'm
going.
torn between Chris Wilding and Sour Shoes.
All right.
Because we haven't, Sour Shoes used to be a regular contributor. And then
Yeah.
he just sort of disappeared, and I have
'Cause
no
you
idea what
ghosted
his
him,
life is like
bitch.
now.
I got a great
No.
call by him.
Isn't
Oh,
that
wait. It was a conscious choice?
I think that it's kind of a mix because Sour Shoes, I think
Well,
his
we're
parents
gonna hear
got a
that.
hold of him, said
We're
not to
gonna
give.
hear it.
Yeah.
We're going to hear it. But before they get to Sour, they can't work out what month they're in. And you
Oh, this is great.
Bond, he has no reason to know what day of the week it is or what month it is, other than just
She
going
doesn't-
off for the summer.
Robin
They
has no
and
idea.
Robin
Oh,
really has
it's-
no reason to know what day of the week it is or what month it is.
This should be a satire like Larry Sanders' show.
This month. What month is this?
This is May, isn't it? No, we're June.
I hate that laugh.
This month, June.
Oh,
I
the
hate-
smug, like, I don't need
Yeah,
to know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Right. This month, June. May. I thought it was May. You had me convinced. This month marks the 20th
Just that
anniversary of
arrogant, insouciant. I don't need to know what month it is, and fuck you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
getting paid anyway. Zerky's 842. You beat me to it. I so feel you. Howard's trying to make his that drives me crazy. That restrained, low talking, fucking low energy bullshit voice he has now. Oh, it drives me crazy. The more he restrains and tries to low talk and he twists the microphone over.
Well, you gotta remember, he's also doing that trying to make his voice sound deeper without all
Yeah.
the super compression.
So the Sour Shoes. Now, here we go. We've got it. So have a listen to what they get. And then there's a interesting little fact
Low
that
energy.
there's some interesting things in here.
Well, let me give the exciting update. Now Sour has reemerged. Last month, he left a message for the first time in more than a year. So, Robin, get
Wow.
ready. This is an
Okay.
exclusive. Here it
And
is.
you will make
Sour
$4,000.
Shoes.
Hello? Hello? Howard? It's Howard. How are you? Howard? Howard, is that you? You know, I don't like this new attitude of yours. I miss you. Hello? 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 How are you? I miss you, man. Have you been all right? Quack, quack. Through all those lonely, 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 lonely. It's what I'd say, Howard. I'd tell you everything. If I could fix the telephone. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I don't know about that. Is this worn off now? It's not like
Sour,
Sour,
shame on
anymore?
you giving them anything. Don't call them. Don't leave a
He
message.
gave
Just
them-
cut them off. Don't do
Give
anything.
them garbage. I mean,
know.
because they ended up playing a lot of clips of Sour calling into other like sports shows.
Yeah, that's
and he's
good stuff.
Absolutely, utterly hilarious.
They let him go for 15 minutes straight, which is what Howard does. You don't expect. I think it was K-Tate that made that point in the thread before, in the mockery thread. Like, don't expect them to be, something great like this. It's not about programming this show with any good content. It's just about making
Ran out the clock.
Yeah,
Victory
just run
formation.
the
filling time.
Filling
Yeah,
time.
but,
Victory formation at its finest.
There's a couple things though, because I think a while back on our show we kind of heard that people around Sauer were telling him not to do the show anymore. Like I guess his parents, because honestly they really weren't compensating him for his real work. And the other problem they have with him is that Sauer is not not PC enough for Howard, and that is a problem. Because
Meaning he's a MAGA guy.
No, he's just not PC.
Oh, I've heard that he's very right wing.
Well, that was the thing. That was Gary today throwing that out. And I think
I've heard that too.
But I think that's an excuse because he went off the last time he was actually really on. He went off the rails, and Howard was like doing a humming of stuff.
Oh, I have that. I think I have that prank call you're talking about, Dennis.
Oh, he's live in studio. He was live in studio.
Oh,
this is like God,
did he
like
do
5
something?
years ago, 6 years ago.
He did something racist, like black people or
yes,
something.
Yes, he did.
I think maybe it was something. John, you'll get it. You'll find that, won't you? Have you got it?
I don't have it on me. No.
Tomorrow? No.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Just tell me when.
Tomorrow.
What year are we talking about?
That was just a couple of. What was this?
5 years ago. I think it'd be like 2018. I honestly think it was that when they had him in studio, and it was actually so funny, but it didn't fit Howard's new image. So, no. Oh well.
Let's let Ronnie go for 55 minutes. And let Shower Shoes go for 55 seconds. Let's keep JD on for an hour and a half. Well, that's this show, exactly. Right? I mean, we're trusting his entertainment radar, and this is what he thinks. This is what he's foisting on this show, and we sit here and take it.
The mustache is funny.
I believe they'd get him if they could trust him, but they can't trust him because he is crazy. Yeah,
no,
so they want it. That's what I think, John. They want him, but. They can't.
Yeah, you're
trust
right
him. Trust him to what? Trust him to what? Be
turn up and then do script they want.
Yeah,
they probably
I think
to write scripts for the guy, realizing that this guy doesn't work like that. It's improvised, probably some of it. It just comes into his head. So they couldn't deal with that.
But yeah, you guys are totally right. But let's have Ronnie rant for like 2 fucking hours in a row.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yelling
2
the
hours.
C word. Yeah, that's great.
AKA unfunny Don Rickles. You know?
Exactly.
But Ronnie will never do anything that could get them in trouble. But so this guy comes on and explains the deal with Sour Shoes from what he can ascertain. I don't know who this guy is, but
there it is, an exclusive.
Yeah. So these weren't voice mails; these were voice memos.
This is
that
Derek.
was getting texted
Derek
to
Jones
me from a cell phone I didn't
That's
recognize.
the guy, John.
You know, I would like type a question and I would wait for the response from Sauer.
So, in other words, his reappearance is as mysterious as his disappearance. I mean, nothing is clear.
You know, he said to some people over the past couple years that he felt like he blew his opportunity with the show, that we gave him some chances to maybe come work with us and that it didn't work out. But then I'll get messages from people online saying like, hey, did you hear Sour Shoes called into Mike Francesa this morning? For whatever reason, it seems like it's just our show that he's avoiding at this point, and he won't give us a direct answer on why.
I like that.
Because there's 1,000 caveats and rules, and you got to appeal to Howard. There's nothing worse than having to appeal to Howard. Every other show, he's allowed to go off on his own Miles Davis riffs and do whatever he wants. When you have to abide by this script and you have to appeal to this unfunny dinosaur goblin, why would he do that? It's the worst possible thing that he could be subjected to.
Back when they were trying to get him, they probably said, "Well, we want to have scripts written for you."
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's
and then he probably went, "Huh? What are you talking about?"
Yep.
And then they said, we'll talk to you later." And then they went, "Oh, he won't do it." They didn't even bother because you wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Listen to how unfunny their impressionists are with the material they write for them. So now picture Sour Shoes doing that, and he has to do it.
You know what's so funny? Speaking of writing stuff for bad impressionists. Honestly, they had a Trump and Freud moment, and I absolutely 100% believe Howard wrote the script because he said, quite frankly, 7 times. No one else uses that term that much except the 69 IQ shock jock. It was unreal how bad it was. Not a joke in the whole thing either.
I think he's worse. I think with that list I made, where that quite frankly was stolen from that thread I made. Yeah. I think in other words is worse with him. I think Fact of the matter is, and in other words, is a far more egregious repeat of.
They're all very bad because he restates an obvious fact.
He says in other words before he's stated the first fact. He and Gary both do that. They say in other words, and they haven't even said the first statement yet. And he's saying in other words to try to look smart.
Exactly. They really have no idea how to use those phrases at all. So.
And with that,
cleaning out the computer.
Johnny boy. John.
Do you want to go with Pat Cooper, or do you want to go with the new stuff from today with Will?
Pat.
Okay.
Let's kick Pat off because I've got. Do you want to do the first one with Pat instead of Gary? Because it'll make us laugh, and the Gary one doesn't make us laugh.
Yeah, Pat will inject us with some energy, I think.
Oh man, he does.
The Gary. Let me see. Well, so Pat roasts. Gary had a roast at the Friars Club, and Pat roasted him at this is like in 07 or something like that, in 08. And this turned into a whole thing where, so Pat starts trashing Howard at the roast, and that turned into him trashing him in the serious lobby. So it's a kind of a progression from there. I would play Pat roasting Gary, and then play the Gary one, and then kind of go to the stuff, Chauncey, and then Opie.
Gotcha. Here we go. This is
Pat Cooper
octane.
at the Friars Club.
What do you do with a man like this? You grate cheese on his face. The man's got no fucking talent, but let me tell you something. He's fucking brilliant. Why is he brilliant? Because he's got no fucking talent and he's making big fucking money. If he quits Stern's fucking dead. Why did Stern get married last night? Because he wants to go on a honeymoon. He won't come in here. He ain't got the balls to come in here. So rather than come to this fucking roast, he said, fuck it, let's get married so I can do Gary Dollarbody's roast.
Hey, Bon.
But you gotta love him. Because
Yep.
That's you did an amazing job, the F word, because if television did that, you wouldn't have to worry about curse. I would love for that to be on like regular TV, where if they went and that's where the F word goes, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You did an amazing job not losing the spirit of his roast, while you somehow bleeped out the F word, knowing exactly what it is.
Yeah, you could have shows that
How did you
at
do
9
that?
a.m. in the morning on instead of being at night.
Yeah.
So
it's all editing. You can highlight it and then insert silence in there instead of deleting it and
really
merging
crazy.
them.
Question in the chat. Zerky 842. Will Howard go to Pat's funeral?
Where is that? There it is.
Well, you would think if he went to Joan Rivers, right? It depends on the celebrity. So if Scorsese and De Niro go, only if Scorsese and De Niro go.
Yeah.
Pat was in Jesus Christ. What was the Billy? Analyze This.
Yeah.
And didn't Scorsese use him in something? Was it Casino? No, Rickles is in Casino. They used Pat Cooper for something. I can't remember. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Oh, he's used a lot of like those kind of
yesterday, I
comedians.
think.
Like in Goodfellas, they use Kenny Goodman or whatever his name is.
He would have been an amazing mob boss on The Sopranos.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Yeah.
I would have, if I were running show business, I would have did that in a second. I would have made him Tony's overlord.
Thinking about underboss.
He's a bit more
capo.
of Pat. That's halfway.
He's very
still going.
intimidating.
He's intense. It's
because he fell into shit. Nobody wanted the fucking job on Howard Stern. And I hope you tell your fucking boss that I'm talking about him. Fuck him and his family. Tell him that again.
he sounds like Paulie off The Sopranos.
He's really, really.
Paulie
He's
may have
hardcore.
took some inspiration from him.
This is brilliant.
Every time you talk about him, he goes, hey, I heard you talk about me. Yeah, Stern, fuck you. You talk about everybody. So stop breaking my fucking balls. You're married now. Fuck you. And let's get on with the show.
Wow.
Damn.
Wasn't that great? See how it makes you feel energy, like good.
He really does. He
Whereas
really galvanizes.
Howard makes you feel, and you're listening to a Trump impersonator. The difference here is light years. Jesus. Okay,
It's called talent. He's got
Yeah, it's called actual talent.
That's right. John, intro. Now Gary gets up. So what do you think of this clip, John? Gary's attempt. Should we play it and then give us your thoughts?
Yeah. Gary's got 10 writers from the show writing for him. Pat made a point to say that I have no writers, unlike everybody else on this goddamn roast. He goes, which I believe.
It was always like that. They were all.
Pat is so old. Pat Cooper. Pat is so old. I saw a buzzard waiting for him in the lobby wearing a bib. Pat is so old. He can actually use his age to play the Pick 3 Lotto.
The one they're saying would probably replace him is Ryan C.
So that's it. Yeah.
That's all you left in there? You didn't leave the whole thing? You didn't?
I don't think there was anything more.
Oh, I thought I'd left it. I thought I put the whole thing in.
Hold on.
Don't worry about it. We can move on to that. It's not. We got the. He's old. We got it. He's old and angry.
Damn,
that's pretty much the whole thing.
That?
Oh, what do you think, Dennis?
Wait.
Benji.
My bad.
Benji, Julie, Sal. Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, John. My bad.
That's okay. Don't worry about it.
Pat is so old he can actually use his age to play the Pick 3 Lotto. Pat wears glasses because he has double vision, so now when he performs, he sees 4 people in the audience.
Really? Let's compare him to Shuli's crowd.
Your hearing aid is useless. The silence is not your eardrums. It's your audience.
Wow.
I hear everyone. I heard the whole place cackling. What silence? Huh?
You can. It's sad when you can distinctly hear just Howard's voice.
Yeah.
As the only person laughing.
Yeah, I hated that. You'd hear with Shirley, Robin and him.
Howard's got to pretend that he has a self-deprecating sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, no.
What's next, John? Up to you, your choice.
David, I want to my condolences about Pat. I know you worked with him in the Catskills in the 50s and 60s, and I know he was close to you, so my condolences.
In the Catskills.
David's like 33.
Oh, the Catskills were great.
I'm wondering, in the 50s. Gee, David's pretty young. David, let's just analyze that.
David is 34.
David's pretty, he's pretty young to be into Stern, really. Like, I'm 10 years older than him, and I'm pretty young to be into Stern.
He and Boff are the same age.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The next Howard crashes Opie. Let's go with Chauncey because I believe this is the last video appearance of Pat in any way. He's been on radio and stuff. He did Opie and Anthony after this, but I think this is the last video appearance. I don't know if anybody remembers. Chauncey had a video podcast before podcasts were big, and he'd have like Chuck Zito and Chauncey on, and it just kind of died. So he has Pat on, and he goes nuts on Howard, and I got the best clips from it. It was about an hour and a half.
I don't have that. I've got the Wheel of Fortune video, that's all.
What?
Uh-huh.
Pat Cooper with Chauncey 01. I'm looking at what I sent you. Pat Cooper with Chauncey 02. Pat terrorizes Howard, Brad Gray, and Bald. Pat Cooper on Dying. You don't see that it's under the...
Yeah,
Did it come in...
Did you send one? I got one email from you.
Yeah, this is yesterday. This is from yesterday.
I'll show you.
You want to resend it? Or will it take too long to download
let's just do it later.
Hold on. I'm just.
You want to save it for tomorrow? I'm telling you, I'm looking at it right now. I sent it to and Monique.
Tomorrow's going to be nothing because he has Andy Cohen on. Oh, so we didn't talk about
that could be good, Billy, if he listens to Bring Back Jackie's tweets. What did Dennis just a little Irish exit or Italian exit, whatever that was.
The puzzle might have kicked the router.
Smoke pellet and grapple.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Bon, just play whatever you have. I don't want to stress you out. It's not worth it. I would just move it over to tomorrow, but I sent you a gaggle of Pat Cooper with Chauncey. There's 4 of them, and it's a video clip. And above it, it's Pat Cooper with Opie, and that's what everybody was asking for. So it's 3 of the best of the moments of him with Opie, and I think that's his last appearance on Sirius. He actually did an interview with Stuttering John and Tammy Pascatel, which is gone. It's been scrubbed from the internet.
That's all I got.
Really?
That's it. That's in the email. See, I can save all at the top.
That's from today. I said, did you save yesterday's email?
Oh. But that all the extra in I don't know why we're going into it so much, but that's all we had yesterday.
Just play. I don't want
was,
to. I don't want to waste time. I don't like this. Just play whatever you got. We'll save it for tomorrow. I know I sent it. I'm looking at it right now.
All right. Okay. Hold on.
No big deal. I don't care.
So do you want Hasselhoff?
Let's play. Well, yeah, that's a quickie. So we're talking about Private Parts yesterday, and in looking for Vanna, but you guys know Vanna White did the show in 1997 in New Orleans.
Yes.
She dropped. Okay, that's not
I
played
remember
that much.
very long ago.
And she's literally on as long as OJ was on, like 3 minutes in and out. She makes a comment about Allison. He's very much separated from Allison, but he hasn't revealed it yet. So he's about to do this, and she calls him on this. But before that happened, Hasselhoff was in it. As I'm going towards the Vanna White clip, I see this, and Hasselhoff just brings up Private Parts, and Howard lies to him about the box office. So I had to clip it, and here you go.
Yes, this is great.
Immediately he lies about the box office.
What'd you watch?
The DVD version of Private Parts.
No kidding.
You are excellent.
Thank you.
The show was good. No, it was very good.
Thank you very much. The movie was good.
Did you make any money?
On the movie? Yeah, the movie made $80 million.
I'll play that again. Hear him go.
Cost $80 million.
Here we go. Listen to how he's like gasping for air to go. Yeah.
But Bon, how weird was it that Hasselhoff pushed him on the money? Like, where did that come from? Like, Hasselhoff's very interested in the money Howard made from Private Parts. It's just a bizarre, follow-up.
Yeah. Here, I like how it's,
No, it was very good.
Thank you very much. The movie was good.
Did you make any money?
On the movie? Yeah, the movie made $80 million.
That's so great. I love that you get these, man. You should work for Howard when he does a sour bloody celebration. You could mine the greatest clips for him.
The accidents I find are better than what I'm looking for, and that's the idea for the Monique TikTok, where we throw that on TikTok, like the 1 minute of him lying or some stupid clip like that,
Yes,
and everybody
that'd
gets
be
to hear
good.
it over and over and over. It's a waste to not have that in perpetuity.
Now, Howard does Wheel of Fortune.
I'm sorry, Bon.
1,
Just one last
2.
second. I say 80 million, guys,
Yo.
because the movie made 40 million. Anyone can look it up. It's on every IMDb, every movie site. Rotten Tomatoes. It made $41 million.
So
let's not go
has all
through
the
this
numbers.
again.
So,
we've been through this so many
Yeah,
times.
that's all I was saying.
I guess Howard got confused because that's how much they spent on the movie was $80 million, and they made 40.
Howard does Wheel of Fortune Part 1.
Yeah. So in promoting
this is so
Private
bad.
Parts, he has to go to LA and he does a bunch of stuff, and he has to do Wheel of Fortune. And Pat Sajak walks out on him, and that's just kind of in line with today.
Should I play the video first? Because
Play the
he's
video
talking
first.
about it after, isn't
play
it?
the video
Yeah, here we
first.
go. This is cool. This is really cool.
This is Howard and Wheel of Fortune.
You know, it's been such a long week. I'm really kind of tired. I think I'm just going to hang out at home. What are you going to do?
Well, I got to tell you something. I'm going to go see that new movie, Howard Stern movie, Private Parts. You hear about that one, Vanna?
Just look at him.
I want to tell you what. First of all, I just want to say hello to Wheel of Fortune. You know, I'm a big Wheel of Fortune fan.
Well, thank you very much.
Watch this show every night. I think Pat just headed for the hills. I don't know what happened to him, but I ran him out of town. First of all, some chocolates and flowers for the beautiful Vanna White.
Thank you so much.
A lot of people.
He's a nice guy.
I agree, too, Master. She looks better now.
This looks pretty. Now, America has just tuned in and said, what happened to Wheel of Fortune? Something's gone very, very wrong. But, Vanna, it's time to come clean. The reason I'm really here tonight is I'm a little embarrassed to announce this. Vanna's carrying my baby. The father of Vanna's baby. You're not going to believe it.
So edgy.
We'll pause it there for copyright. The douche is the typical douche comment that Rickles type in just hammering.
I just want to say to front, I own all Merv Griffin's properties and everything Merv Griffin owns, his television shows and all his rights.
So you made the bid for that after he died, huh?
Yeah, I own all. Merv Griffin left everything to me. I own Wheel of
The YouTube CEO just heard that and went, "Oh, no problems." And we went, "Oh, we'll go and watch another live stream now." To make sure.
This reminds me of something that happened on the show. Some guy called us and said, "Yeah, I'm 6'5", just like you," and I'm like, "No." Howard is 6'8", 6'9"? Easily.
He's at least 6'7". I have him as when he was next to Dennis Rodman. He was eye to eye with him. Rodman's typically listed
Same with Magic.
6'8".
Remember?
Magic is 6'9", right? So he's somewhere in there.
Pause, and they were like exactly the same height.
Yeah, David. Yes, I own all of Merv Griffin's toupees as well. Yes.
David helped pick them out.
Actually, Vanna, love you, and I just wanted America
She's
to know.
5'6" and in heels. That's how tall he is. She's in heels at 5'6", and look how tall he is. Like a monster.
We're gonna get a copyright for that music.
Yeah, whoa, you're talking right over. That's why I'm
Public
just talking
domain.
Yay, public domain. Public domain.
Fair use, public domain.
There we go. It's all right. I've muted it. I got it. There's
Thank
the
you.
look at this
No,
crowd.
it's just that
This
Merv
guy's wearing
Griffin,
sunglasses.
So those
in
are all
the
homeless
audience.
people, right?
With the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, Dennis. Nice call.
That's Skid Row. Yeah, that's Sebastian
Skid
Bach's
Row right
Skid
there.
Row.
Oh, here we go. Oh no. There's still. Well, I wonder what they're saying. What
He's
a
talking shit about
weirdo.
Sajak, I'm sure.
I go
Say
Pat didn't come out. What did Pat
That's right. I
go?
forgot she worked
Yeah,
knocked
this is
up.
my real
That was
hair.
terrible.
my grandpa
He
stole.
flew all the way there for that.
For that. Well, they flew him. Remember, the studio spent the money to do that. Part of that $40 million of promotion that
They were like, well, Ivan Reitman's involved.
I believe that's the last time he flew commercial. I think it's the very last time he's ever been in any capacity on a, even if it's first class. I think that's the last time he hasn't been on a private jet. Since then, it's just been private all the way.
It's all private, baby.
Yep.
So now he's back in the studio, obviously being very proud of himself. And here's what he says about that experience. And
It's pre-taped too, Bonzo. It doesn't air until I think Friday, the next Friday. So I didn't know this
okay.
about. I always thought that Wheel of Fortune was the day of. So apparently he obviously said it wrong. But they film 5 in the same day, and they stock up and they pump them out.
Here we go.
The reason I wasn't here Monday was Friday I flew out to Los Angeles to tape Wheel of Fortune. And that's going to be on Friday, the night the movie opens.
Oh, my goodness.
I was anxious to get on Wheel of Fortune because Wheel of Fortune, Robin, is the #1 show in syndication. It has something like, could I be wrong about this? Like 35 million viewers or something. I don't know.
It's on the order of Baywatch.
Yeah. I took the noon flight out to Los Angeles.
Did you see Vanna?
Oh, yeah. It is so wrong to see me on Wheel of Fortune. It just, the idea that I'm on it is completely wrong. I vowed not to dress in drag anymore, but one last time, I want to be a woman. I want to stand there with Vanna and turn the letters.
If you think he's not gay, every opportunity to dress in drag. I didn't even realize that. Yet another time he wanted to dress in drag. I did not know that until I just listened to this. That the original plan was drag.
On the Wheel of Fortune, but they wouldn't let me do it because it's a game. They wouldn't let me do that. I was only dying to do that.
Ooh,
Of course you were.
And then
Every
he continues.
Pat, how was he?
Well, I don't know. He ran out of the building. He wouldn't appear with me.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, which is kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Vanna
cool.
was real cool. Yeah, I mean, they had to talk her down off the wall first before I entered the room because remember we had on Corbin Burnson.
Right.
And he was talking about how he took a shower with Vanna or something like that.
He was the one who told us all about his evening with Vanna White.
Yeah, right. How do I address that audience? How do I get the audience to come that isn't a fan, that perhaps maybe is a fence sitter, I call it? It was really interesting because all backstage was electrified because nothing has ever happened on that show.
Right. They don't even have guests.
The two
Think about that.
minds.
It's even more embarrassing, right? We talk about. I always bring up the point how he had an infomercial to promote this movie for like a year and a half to a supposed audience of 20 million people. So if each one of those people paid at the minimum, let's say $5 a head, you should be making at least 9 figures, right?
$1 zillion.
Right.
Yeah.
So now he's bragging about the
300 million.
audience of Wheel of Fortune, which he claims is 35 million, and it's even more embarrassing how little money it made.
But by the way, for people asking about Mo, it is right now 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
In Portugal.
Here?
And she's actually supposed to be doing stuff, so it's okay if she's not here. I know people are asking.
Yeah, I texted her to see if she liked the show, and she said she
What
didn't
show?
mention the show. She said,
Why did you bother her with that? She doesn't care.
No, I didn't. I said, no, I said, are you having a good time and everything? And then I said, did you see the show? She said, I saw the intro. I love the intro. And then I said, are you? She said, I can't come on because I'm too tired. That's what her reply was. She said, "Oh, I can't come on. I wanted to come on, but it's so late. It's not worth trying."
She has to replace
Anyway.
those towels that Sean Young destroyed at her house. So.
Exactly.
Ooh, old school.
We live in a
Now-
very bizarre ecosystem, this Radio Gunk.
Yes, it does. Yes,
you
it
can have
does.
the lead chick from Blade Runner screwing up the host's towels. We live in crazy cuckoo land.
Xavier, my compliments for 2 references you made in the last, I don't know, week and a half or whatever. Echolalia and Rolf Benershka. It doesn't get any better than that. Echolalia is my favorite autism word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about Rolf Benershka hosts a game show called Echolalia? We could somehow
Wouldn't that be amazing?
stick it around.
In the chat, Benjamin has one of the greatest comments ever.
Oh,
The
really?
Unabomber hanged himself, found a Sirius radio in his cell.
I like it.
Was it a stiletto or a Starmate?
Yeah. Hey, no canceling subscriptions, Robin. That's what I hope he's got auto pay on his PayPal.
Showbacks Club, you son of a bitch! You gave away the Stanley Cup. I'm just kind of watching hockey.
I mean, are you the same dude that
damn it!
blew the
I
game
could
yesterday
care
for
less.
the NBA? Now it's like the Knights just won. Is that what he's saying?
They were writing box scores in the chat in the
Exactly.
comments last night. They're
Oh, they're
giving me
like
like
insufferable.
I'm like
Bam
I got everything
Adebayo's
on
efficiency
record
rating.
so I can watch it when I get off this hellhole.
Hey,
The
did you know
serious-
Thanks, man. Thanks.
The Sirius radio was used as evidence of that when he hung himself. They said that's the weapon, not the rope. Anyway, John,
You got to tie it to Epstein's suicide.
1999, Vanna drops in. A couple
Yeah,
of
so
years
this is
later,
New
she
Orleans.
drops
Remember, he had to go to the upfronts or whatever that is in New Orleans. One time he left to do like these are like the last days of like on location shows, and he was forced to go to New Orleans to promote the show. And Wheel of Fortune was there, and Vanna White dropped by for like an OJ cameo, like 3 minutes. She's in and out, and I'm very positive he is separated from Allison, and she makes a wife crack at the end, and she is not having it. That's the last one, and she comes in, and she's nice enough. But it's just kind of
It's kind of awkward. Like
Yeah.
she doesn't want to do this. Like
he's
and he's
hitting
a
on her, so
dick
he's
to-
trying to hit on her in the
dick.
last clip, and she's not having it.
He's so annoying the way he talks to her. It's so.
And he's very much in that.
Insulting. Yeah, yeah.
Here in New Orleans, and Robin, look who just walked in, Vanna White.
That voice is. It's like it's pitch shifted.
We're in New Orleans. Yeah, yeah.
Fully pitch shifted like a semitone. All right.
The Nappy convention. Tom didn't want us to come here. Vanna White, look at you, baby. Last time I saw you, I was dancing with you. What a smoking little body on there, huh? Isn't that nice? You got, you've had a couple of kids or something, right?
I have.
And look at that body on you. Why don't you tell the women how to keep their bodies in shape after they knock out a few babies?
Lots of hard work.
Do you get as much as Sajak gets, or?
I don't know what he
I
gets.
bet you he gets more.
I bet you he does.
And I'll tell you something. I think you're as important to the show as he is.
Well, I think more.
Really?
Would you? I mean,
Personally, as a guy, I'd rather look at you. You know what I mean? I don't want to look at Sajak.
you did our show once.
I
Remember
sure
that?
did.
Did
Remember?
you have fun?
I did have fun. I was a little insulted that Pat Sajak left. He had everyone was telling me no, he had to go, but I knew it was like he didn't want to appear on camera with me or something.
Really?
He had a problem with me. And I'm like, who's he to have a problem with me? What'd I ever do to him? Say hi to Pat Sajak. Did he ever say anything to you about me that he didn't want to appear on camera with me?
Never said a word to
There
me.
had to be some discussion. There had to be.
Nothing.
Let me smell your feet.
No, you definitely don't want to do that.
I don't?
No.
You'd be surprised what I'd want to do. Did James Brolin hit on you when you were walking around out there, or he was he a gentleman?
No, he's a married man now.
Can I buy your shoes?
No.
I'm into feet.
I'll give you a pair of shoes.
Please do.
What size shoe does your wife wear?
I don't know. Who cares? I just want your shoes. No. Of course I know what size shoes you wear.
Well, what is it?
She's a size, a very demure 7.5. That's right. That's exactly
No
it.
problem.
So I never have money. The only thing I ever have on me is condoms in case somebody's gonna.
dear.
Very true.
You need them on your show.
I do. So, do you find me attractive at all?
I think you're a very nice person.
But you don't find me attractive. I'm not your type?
I don't know.
Do you think I have any kind of an attractive look, or am I? You can be honest. I want to know what you think.
I think everybody has an attractive look. There's always something attractive about every person.
What would my attractiveness be?
Still looking. My time.
Is there something attractive about me? Maybe.
I'm sure there is.
No, listen, Ben, at least you're honest. All right, so in other words, it's impossible for me to get a woman of your caliber.
I don't think so.
Oh, I'm sure it is. That's
You
all
would
right.
know the answer to that.
I know the answer. The answer is
And I
no.
think you've done it many times.
Well, don't tell my wife. All right.
it makes you kind of feel a bit jittery because of how he just hammers that's so fast. How does he interviews and talks now is like a slow motion compared to
crazy. The best part of the
gives you
entire
anxiety.
clip is when
it
does.
Yeah. The best part of the entire clip is when Vanna just absolutely just disses him, and you hear Jackie.
She shuts him down,
just laughing at him.
Not having it.
She's just absolutely just laughing at him. We don't have that anymore.
I'll try and find that.
Is there something attractive about me? Maybe
I'm sure there is.
That is the greatest comeback. It's just like a demure, classy woman comeback. I'm sure there's something very attractive.
Jackie just like.
That's right, Affy. His serious contract is very attractive. That's the only thing attractive.
That's so great. Good work, John. Man,
That's a tough one. I'd never heard that until today.
I knew tell you, you need to be told that, man, you do a great job with this stuff. To pull this, you do this every show.
He's doing the Lord's work.
So, it's
I
a
have
lot
to thank
of work.
I have to thank Sara for her Control F G spot move, because it's probably saved me hours and hours a week. Because the Control F, you put the word in, and like I guess every secretary knows, you go right to the word. And so if you put Steve Brandano and Deborah Stern, it goes right to the word through Mark Spriggin, and that's
it's the Control F McGillicuddy with a twist.
Okay. Bubba, yeah.
Have I got a treat?
Thank you, Brizzo.
John,
Now,
if you
David, I'm sorry, Bond. Just one last. Yeah, so he's the way I'm obsessed with this. So I believe he's been separated from her since like late '97. This is like early '99. He announces his quote unquote separation in the fall of '99. He's out of the house. He is at the Millennium Towers, and he's pretending to be married for probably a year and a half at this point. There's no way they're still together at this point. This is like, again, this is January of '99.
Speaking of Sara, quickly,
Thank you.
a cast member from a very famous 1990s show made a comment about Sara.
Anyway, this girl Sara has the most amazing body.
Steve Sanders, eyes earring, making a cameo appearance. That's brilliant. You heard us talking about that?
Orange. All she wears is orange.
Tell Sara to tune in for that little bit. They were reviewing 90210, and when that part came up, Sara replies, "Thank you."
That was Iron's earring, aka Steve Sanders. Everyone. Hitting on
talking
Sara.
to Brandon, I think.
Yes.
She's got the most amazing, beautiful body, and Sara, it's so great.
We're going to be doing Seinfeld soon, Bon. You want to sit in with David? Yeah, we're going to be.
I would love to. Oh my God! Final clip for tonight is Sour Shoes TKO's Howard as Artie and Gilbert, and it's a nice one, John. What do you think?
Can't get enough of this one. Some have heard it, some haven't. Sour Shoes pranks the show, and he calls in as Gil from something something, and obviously it means Gilbert Gottfried, not Gilbert Grape. And he does an impression of Artie and an impression of Gilbert Gottfried, and he just makes Chelsea Handler references and Ellen Dancing references, and Artie can't get called back, and Howard is punch drunk. Just slapped around, and you hear the awkward silences. It's the craziest. It's such an underrated moment. And
that's exactly what I was about. At the end, Howard is kind of like,
it's the worst silence.
It freaks him out.
Yeah,
it kind
he's
of freaks
genuinely
him out.
scared. Yes.
Yeah, this is great. Here we go.
Yes, Gil.
Hey, what's up, Howard, about Gilbert's phone? What? What are you, a hobo? But, so you and Bill Maher made up the other night, huh? You suck each other off? Was Chelsea Handler there? And,
no, she wasn't there.
How about Ellen DeGeneres? Did you dance a little bit? I don't understand this. I can't even reach you on the phone, right? I got the guys.
Is that Sour Shoes?
No,
he's pretending it isn't.
I think it's doing an Artie impression.
Right, but was that Sour Shoes?
Like he doesn't know.
Wow.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyway,
there was no music, so it's hard to tell.
Hard to know what was going on. It was a good impression, though.
It took me a moment, but then I figured it out.
Yeah, I didn't know where we were going at first. Yeah, all right.
He's getting notes from the back.
he's
He
kind
can't.
of freaked out by that talent. I like that bit where he does this little line here.
Was that Chelsea Handler there? And,
No, she wasn't there.
How about Ellen DeGeneres? Did you dance a little bit? I can't.
Wow.
That's Ellen DeGeneres'
It's so good.
line.
He
Oh.
does this very subtle Artie segue where it's like if Artie had a conversation with Howard, it would go exactly like that. Like that's what he wants. This is like Artie on his podcast complaining about. It's exactly what the conversation that Artie should have had with him that never happened. It's so good.
Yeah.
God, it's good. It's crazy good.
It was great, but the best part of that whole clip is Blobbin still has no idea that it was Sour Shoes.
No, I think they're pretending not to know. I think that they know exactly who it is, and they're pretending that it's not him because he destroyed them. Like, how could he have turned on them and humiliated them? So they're pretending it. I don't know. Is that Sour? I don't know. So they get a little note from the back, and there's silence, and they're explaining what just went down. Robin, with Robin, you don't know, Dennis. I mean, she could.
You
be
don't
that
know.
stupid.
That's
you
the
just
thing.
never know. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, the wheezing two masters, right? It's just perfect. It sounds better on the phone too.
It does.
Most impressions do sound better on the phone.
Well, there's a little bit of that garbleness in there to kind of cut the edge off the
subtlety,
voice.
right.
Yeah, the subtlety.
Is that it, Bon? Or you have any of the Pat Cooper stuff?
Yay! Right. I gotta go.
That's
sleep.
all of it, John.
You see, we shouldn't be working on a show where we're happy that it's over, right? We should be passionate about doing this.
I'm passionate about it, but I'm also passionate about getting sleep. I'm a little passionate about getting some sleep.
There was some nice stuff tonight.
And I got to listen to the show tomorrow morning.
I know. That's what it does. It rots your
brain.
It rots your soul. It rots your brain. It makes you hate life.
I'm almost off the hook. I'm almost off the hook, guys. One more show. I don't know how you do it. I keep saying, whenever I'm on, I say, I don't know how you do, especially when Howard maybe does 3 weeks in a row, the rare times, where you've got to come on 3 times each week, where it's depressing. But
well, the Marketeers make it all worth it. The Spandrel and K-Tate and Reno and Kive 96 and Dennis leading the charge. They're fantastic every single day. I don't know how they all do it. And they bounce off each other. They make it fun. But even they have. You can see. I like the people who tap out in the mockery thread. Just I can't. Zors and Harry Vayner. I don't know how you guys do it. I'm out of here. I'm out.
Tomorrow, the first half of the show should be atrocious, because it will be. I'm guaranteeing it'll be wilding. And one of the things we didn't get to today, so it's going to be leftovers.
Can we make a decision then? Should I avoid all of that? What does?
We'll see how bad it is. We'll see. But I have
should we make
feeling...
it Andy? Will Andy do anything? That's
he
good.
might.
That's the question.
He might actually. He might do some backhanded stuff. He has potential to do backhanded stuff.
He really has no reason to come on there other than to challenge him a little bit, to kind of just like fake kiss his ass and then do the rope.
Yeah, remember he's much more successful than Howard, and he knows it, which is actually kind of funny, and he gets very catty at times, and that's what we're hoping for. Just a little bit, just a couple of really
Caddy
quick
is
digs.
his milieu, and that's what hoping. The last 3 times he's come on, we've got some gems out of him. There's at least 4 or 5, so I'm hoping. Yeah, I'll give him the benefit of that. It should be good.
You know what he'll probably rip him on? The Miami studios. I guarantee that's going to be a whole thing from Andy Cohen tomorrow. Guaranteed. Absolutely. Write that down. Because
Bon
Andy was in a
Jovi.
closet.
You took my guest.
Oh my God. That's
But wait a minute. The Bon Jovi thing, right? I saw an interview
Yeah.
with Andy Cohen recently where he addressed that, and it was good. He took a shot at how I forgot to bring that. I'll get it for tomorrow.
We'll have it tomorrow because Andy's going to bring that up. Andy was seriously pissed off. He was put in a closet, and then he bogarts his guest on him. Like
he has
the one guest he
reality
had.
stars that are bigger than have more followers than Howard does on Instagram or Twitter. And I don't want to always go by, but they're legitimately more internationally famous than Howard is. Like any of these broads from these Housewives shows or Vanderpump Rules, it's a they're the 5th guy on Vanderpump Rules has more followers than Howard does.
Well,
that's what he's deal, and he owns that whole empire.
Think about Howard's international reach, because you know what Private Parts did overseas. Nothing.
right.
Nothing. Zero.
I would have made $80 million.
Nothing overseas.
Thank you. Oh,
I
thanks,
mean, there wasn't
Gunga
like a
Din.
Latin America
My
version
drink's
of
empty.
Private Parts.
Thanks, man. Oh, I've got one thing about yesterday's show that the best thing for as Jackie Martling would say, for our purposes, the best thing about yesterday's show was this.
Dennis, you're on the air.
Thank you, Howard. I love it when Howard makes me drops.
So
Dennis,
today,
you're on the air.
So at the end of the show today, this is exactly what he said. I wrote it down word for word.
Oh,
Wow.
yes.
I see it's time to end the show at 10:01. That is a professional right there.
That's a 45-year pro.
And with
Wow.
that, we say good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Buonanotte.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.